Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt. I'm the Director of International Student Recruitment and Admissions at Corvinus, and I'm joined here by Anna today, who's next to me. You can't see her right now. You will. She's moderating today's event, and she's also going to share her experiences with you because she is a Stipendium Hungaricum student at Corvinus. So let's get started. So first of all, today's session is about how to make your Stipendium Hungaricum application. So we want to give you some tips on how to prepare a really high quality application, how to give yourself the best chance of, first of all, being nominated, after the nomination process, how you can really ace the entrance exams, and then finally making sure once you've done all the hard work that you give yourself the best possible chance of becoming a student at Hungarian University with this program in September 2024. We obviously, as we work for Corvinus University, or I work for Corvinus and Anna studies here, we obviously want to give you the best impression possible of Corvinus. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about the programs that we offer as well and why it's such a great university for you to consider. But this session is for everybody who's considering making a Stipendium Hungaricum application. So I hope that it will be useful for many of you. I hope that a lot of you are considering Corvinus anyway, and maybe a few of you might even be swayed, a few more of you might be swayed to consider Corvinus in the future after today's session. So yeah, most of this I've talked through, so I'm going to introduce you to the program, then the university, and we talk a little bit about the application timeline, so the process and key dates. Then Anna will take over. She's going to talk for about 15 minutes, I think, sharing her experiences with you, both recalling what it was like to be an applicant, but also what it's like to be a student here at Corvinus and in Budapest on this program. And then it's back to me, and we finish, the second half, if you like, is about how to prepare the application, how to prepare for the entrance exams, a little bit about the motivation letter, because we get asked about that one a lot. And to close, we'll do questions from you, and we'll do our best to answer those questions. Have a look at the contents now. So think before asking your question. So if you want to ask a question about entrance exams, wait till we get to the entrance exam section of the session, because your question might be answered. So just keep in mind this schedule. If you want, take a photo of the screen now or take a screenshot. And as I said, try to think about when might be best to ask your question. But then at the end, we certainly do welcome any questions that you'll have, and we'll do what we can to answer them, or do what we can to answer as many as possible. So what is this scholarship program all about? Well, it's an extremely exciting opportunity. As I wrote on the slide, it's a life-changing scholarship. I really do believe that. So this program offers full scholarships. That means completely free tuition. And there's not many scholarships in the world that do that. So it's really a fantastic opportunity. And I've written here that it's worth 20,000 euros plus. How did I come up with that figure? Well, if you're studying in Hungary, it's going to cost you at least 6,000 to 8,000 euros per year for tuition fees. That's how much it would cost if you're a self-funded applicant. But if you're on the stipendium program, you are going to be studying for free. So the tuition fee is completely waived. It's not a loan. It's not something that you ever need to pay back. It's a complete 100% tuition fee waiver. So if you do the maths, you'll quickly calculate that 20,000. It's worth more than 20,000, as I said, for bachelor degrees. At Corvinus, you'd have more than 20 programs to choose from across bachelor, masters, and PhD level. But that's not all that the scholarship offers. It's more than just a tuition fee waiver. So you also get accommodation from the university, or if you choose to source your own accommodation, you'll have an allowance. That allowance is worth around 110 euros per month. So you can pay for your rent privately, but as part of your scholarship, you'll get this money, and then it's your responsibility to pay for your rent. You also get an additional contribution towards living costs. So everybody gets this, whether you choose to live in accommodation or source your own privately. So that's worth similar amount, slightly more, so around 120 euros per month. Put the fees in euros rather than Hungarian forints. The Hungarian forint has a lot of zeros, so it's a bit of a confusing currency for most people at the start, but you get used to it when you've been in Hungary for a bit. And this scholarship is going to give people like you who are from outside of Europe, some within Europe, but from non-EU countries in Europe, the chance to access quality free education in English in the EU. And that's what's such a brilliant proposition of this scholarship. And something else nice is that you can also work during your studies, and there's quite generous limits on that. So you can work up to 30 hours per week as a student in Hungary, as an international student in Hungary. That's very generous compared to other study destinations. It's a big amount, so I wouldn't recommend you working 30 hours a week alongside your studies every week, because studying is a full-time commitment as well. But there you go, you have the opportunity to do it should you wish to. About Corvinus. So Corvinus is the best university, I say, without bias. Of course, I have a little bit because I work there, but it is the best university. I'm clear on that, for business and economics in Hungary, and also extremely good for social sciences. So you can see how international the university is. We have around 11,000 students. 15% of those are international. Keep in mind that around half of our students are studying in Hungarian language programs. So if you study on an English language program, your class is going to be way more than just 15% that are non-Hungarian. Might be more like 60 or 70% of the class that are non-Hungarian. And I always think this is a good thing. The more chance you have to network with people from different countries, the more you broaden your horizons, the more opportunities you can create for yourself, the more you can learn about yourself by mixing with people from different backgrounds and cultures. Presumably you're all interested in this, and this is why you're here today, because you want to explore the possibility of international education and living outside of your country. So I hope you agree with me that it's a great thing. Okay, this is where Corvinus really comes into its own. No other Hungarian universities can compare in this regard, in my opinion. So if you look at the world rankings for subject rankings by the QS, you can see that for business management, Corvinus is in the top 300 to 350 universities in the world. For economics, 350 to 400. So again, a very, very top university in the world for economics. And for social sciences, we're 400 to 450. So there's thousands of universities worldwide. So to be in the top 300 to 350, or the top 300 to 450 for anything for a Hungarian university is a huge deal. And that's partly why the university has such a strong reputation in Hungary in these subject areas. The next distinction that you'll see is that the university is AMBER and AACSB accredited. And you can see these logos on the screen. These distinctions are the creme de la creme for business. You can't be better as a business school than having AMBER and AACSB accreditation. So only 2% of universities in the world have both of these. No other Hungarian universities have both of these. If you want to study business economics, don't think about anywhere else in Hungary other than Corvinus if you're interested in this program. It's going to lead to the best possible career opportunities for you. You've got these accreditations mean that the curriculum is assured to be of an extremely high standard. So it's not only the skills that you develop, but then because you've studied at an institution that has these stamps of quality, employers know what that means. So you've got better skills, but also better prospects of getting a job as well. And in turn, because of those better skills, even better prospects again. So that's what the accreditations can do for you. Do have a look into those if you're interested and you want to fact check what I'm saying. All it takes is a quick Google search and you can see what these accolades mean and could mean to you if you study here. Corvinus is also a member of a network called SEMS. SEMS is a partner of management, a group of management school partners, worldwide group, and you'll see some of the world leading universities there. Universities like London School of Economics, Bocconi in Italy, Vienna University, Prague Business School, lots and lots and lots. Corvinus is part of that club. So have a look. Being a SEMS member is also a really big deal. And it's another thing that employers look for as well. And there's double degree opportunities as well as part of this SEMS program. Finally, the university has a lot of history. So we have 120 years of history. It's a very historic, beautiful campus. Just on the edge of a UNESCO heritage site called the Banks of the Danube here in Budapest. So every day you go to class, you're going to feel this sense of history and occasion. Of course, there's new buildings as well as old, and we're building a state-of-the-art campus the other side of the River Danube. So our campus is on the banks of the Danube, but the other side of the river, you can see being built now and finished, our super high-tech Menesi campus, which you might be studying in next year as well. A little bit about Budapest now. So if you're considering this program, I don't wish to do a disservice to other universities in Hungary, but every year we have students already studying on this stipendium program, and they contact us and they ask, how can we transfer to Corvinus? Because there's no other big cities in Hungary other than Budapest, really. The next biggest city is Debrecen with 600,000 people. I think Pécs has about 400,000, Szeged about 200,000. The Budapest metropolitan area is 2 million people. So 25% to 33% of Hungary's population live within the Budapest metropolitan area. It is where all the action is. If you're an international student, you don't want to be anywhere else other than Budapest because you're going to meet with other international students. And there's more than 20,000 international students studying at universities in Budapest. So that's more than half of all the international students in Hungary. Hungary does have some top universities outside of Budapest. But if you want to be where the action is, where the culture is, where the other international people are, you've got to go with Budapest. And this also means that you can live your day-to-day life speaking English. So it's not just that you study in English, it's that you can go for a coffee, go for food, sort your residence permit, whatever it may be, you can do your life in English. You can't do that so easily elsewhere in Hungary. The city is also well connected to other major European cities. So when you're in Budapest, if you haven't been here before, as a student, you're going to have a residence permit and you'll be in the Schengen area and in the EU. And what it means is you can travel across borders and you hardly even know that you've crossed the border. So you can go to Austria and you'll see there's no passport check at all if you travel by road or by train, because it's still the Schengen area. So you hardly know when you go from one country to the other, except for you start seeing signs in German rather than in Hungarian. So these cities that you can see here, Prague, Belgrade, I talked about Vienna already, Bratislava, Zagreb, they're all pretty much within 3 hours by car, maybe 4 hours for Belgrade from Budapest. So you have this really, really fantastic opportunity whilst being in this city to explore the whole region. Okay, and Budapest is, as I've said, in Hungary, it is the dominant city for culture, for commerce, for attracting international people, for history, of course, as well. You have everything that you could want. It's a fantastic city. I'm from London. It's a much bigger city, maybe 5 times the population of Budapest, bigger than all of Hungary by population. But I find that in Budapest, I can have pretty much all the action that I'd want to have in London, but it's a safer place. It's very, very easy for me to get around by public transport. And in fact, I can walk most places. It's much more affordable, and it's got everything, absolutely everything that I would want a city to have. It's a really good place to be an international person generally. I can tell you that from my own experience. Okay, and the last factor that's really, really important is the number of multinational companies that are in Budapest, because those of you applying for the scholarship probably don't just want to study in Hungary and then leave. A lot of you want to think about building your lives in the EU. And that's an opportunity that you have with this scholarship program. And it's a lot of employers in the city who can give you jobs. So there's 150 multinational companies. You can think of the likes of Microsoft, IBM, Vodafone, just to name a few. And every sector, most big companies that you can think of, they're here in Budapest. Okay, programs available. So you can see that we've got business-related programs, of course, economics and social sciences as well. At bachelor's level, we have 7 different programs for you to choose from. So I think it's a nice, clear portfolio of programs. Master's level, you can see that it's a bit broader, the options, because we offer specializations. So for business management at bachelor, sister programs can include finance and marketing at master's level. We also have business informatics, which combines business studies with IT. You've got the international economy and business that combines business studies with economics. You've got the international accounting and auditing program as well. So lots of different options once you get to master's level. But of course, at bachelor, you have to lay the foundations. So rather than go through every one of these, just have a look, think about what I've said so far and what a degree from this university can do for you, and see if there's something on the screen that might just appeal to you. Okay, and another program to mention is the full-time MBA as well. So we really welcome applicants for the MBA. It's very, very important that you meet the work experience requirements if you apply for that one. So it's a master's level program, but you should also have a minimum of 3 years of work experience. So make sure you meet those requirements. Okay, so now for application process and dates. Oops. So this screenshot actually comes from the call for applications. So it's not something I created, it's something that Tempus, or you can see here called TPF, that means Tempus Public Foundation. TPF or Tempus is the governing body for the stipendium program. So they're the administrators of the scholarship. So they're the ones that set these rules that give you the scholarship ultimately. So I also encourage all of you to read the call for applications that Tempus publish. All you need to do is Google Stipendium Hungaricum call for applications, and you'll find a lot of information that we covered today and more in the call for applications. Okay, so the first step is apply on time. So you have until 2 p.m. on the 16th of January to submit the application. I just realized that these are the 2023 dates rather than the 2024, but it's going to be very, very similar for 2024. So apologies for that, but it's the same date, this one, 16th of January, 2024, it will be rather than 2023. The next thing to keep in mind is the nomination period. So we jump a few points, and it's around March stage. So before this, the 28th of February, we find out who's been nominated, and then you'll find out shortly after. And then before the next stage, which is the admissions procedure, we're at March. Your entrance exams are going to take place in April, typically. So 1st to 30th of April for Corvinus, most of Corvinus applicants. If you're priority 2, so there's an option to be priority 1 or priority 2, then it will be early May that you could have an interview. And I'm going to talk more about what the different entrance exams could be, what priority 1 and priority 2 means as well. After the entrance exams, you'll find out if you've been conditionally accepted or not. So not everyone will be accepted, obviously. So you'll find out by the end of April or early May, depending on if you're priority 1 or 2. And then the last stage is really to make sure that you've uploaded all of the documents, and then finally find out if you've been awarded a scholarship towards the end. Okay, and then if you've got a scholarship, if you've been unconditionally accepted, then you have to start planning to arrive in Hungary. Okay, how can you find out which programs are available to you? So there's 2 ways to do this. The first way is the one listed second on the screen. So with this one, you go to the Stipendium Hungaricum .hu/partners page, and you'll see a list of different countries, and you select which country applies to you, and you can see the general study programs that are available at each level. That's one way. The other way you can do it is you go to the apply page, apply Stipendium Hungaricum, and you can see in the top right corner, you select your nationality. So here I've selected North Macedonia, and then I've chosen Corvinus as my institution of choice. And when you select find programs, you can see which programs are available. You want to make sure that you select the right academic year, and you want to make sure that you've selected the right level, so you can choose from bachelor, master's, PhD, etc. as well. So that's a really good way to see which programs are available to you. If you don't see them there, then it might mean that program's not available to people from your country. And that can be something that happens because different countries have different priorities for how they'd like to award the scholarship. So there might be a country that really wants more engineers. So then they might have engineering programs available, but not business. There might be the opposite situation. So you really have to look and see which programs are available. Once you've found which programs you can apply to, if you think that you're serious about that program and which university you want to apply to, because you'll get 2 choices, right? So there's priority 1 and priority 2, which we're going to talk about. So you could choose 2 programs at Corvinus, or you could choose 1 program from one university, another program from another university. It's up to you. But whatever you do, then do your research and make sure that you're going to meet the entry requirements first of all. It's really important. There's no point in making an application if you're not going to qualify. But also you need to understand what the program's about to make sure, first of all, that it's right for you. At second, you're going to need to write a motivation letter. Some of you are going to need to do an interview. So you'll need to convey your motivation in these areas of assessment. Okay, so they're important. And the more technical knowledge you show, the better. So a good resource is the page on the Stipendium website. So when you're browsing for programs and you click through, you'll be able to see content on the page. You can also go to the Corvinus website, which is the screenshot on the left. You can see for the applied economics. And you'll see for all of our programs, we have a button, a blue button like you can see circled just about on the screen. Sorry, it's a bit small. That says program specification. So if you go and have a look at the program specification, you'll see all the content that our students are studying currently. And it gives you a really good understanding of what you might be studying next year. So please do this for every program that you're really serious about. Okay, a few more tips. So one I've just said is about the entry requirements. Yeah, when you're ready, then once you've done your research, start the online application process. If you've already written a motivation letter, which I recommend you do before you start the online application, then it could take just 10-15 minutes to fill in fields and to upload all the documents. The next point is important. So treat your application with care. Don't do it on your phone. Don't write in lowercase. So your name should have capital letters. Don't write in an alphabet that's not the Latin alphabet. Please do take care. It's an application for a scholarship. As I said to you earlier, it's worth more than 20,000 euros. So treat this application as something that shows that you're worth this investment in. It's a big deal. Nobody's entitled to a scholarship. We do want people who are really dedicated to have this fantastic opportunity, but show that you deserve it, treat it with care and respect. Okay, you should write your names as they appear on official documents as well. I've already said about lowercase. The next important point is the deadline. I've already said this once, but I'll say it again. It's 2 p.m. on the 16th of January, 2024. So don't miss that one. Okay, this point about priority now, the last point on the screen, really, really important. So you have two choices. Your priority one option, if you're accepted to priority one, you cannot go to your priority two. Okay, so it really does matter. Every year we'll have people contact us and they'll say, oh, can I change to Corvinus? I put it down as my priority two, but I've been accepted by University X already. No, you can't. Yes, the rules of the program, if you did read the call for applications, as I advise you guys to do, you'd see this, but I'm pointing it out for you to make it even clearer. You're not allowed to change the order. Okay, so priority is a high priority. So really put as your priority one option the university and the program that you really, really want to go to. Priority two, you should consider just an insurance option. Okay, hope that's clear. So this is the part that will take place around March. You'll know whether or not you've been nominated. And Corvinus has nothing to do with nominations at all. So you can't write to the university and say, why haven't I been nominated? You can, but we won't be able to give you an answer. So please don't. It's what's called your sending partner. So Tempus or TPF refers to the sending partner as the decision maker in your country. Yeah, it might be the Ministry of Education, it might be another government official or group of people. But they're the ones that make the decision on who should be provisionally nominated, not the universities. How likely are you to be nominated? Well, you can see the statistics from last year, or from still this year, 2023, but from the last cycle. And you can see that Corvinus had more than 8,000 applicants. Over 1,600 of these people were nominated. Okay, so about 20%. Just under half of those were conditionally accepted. Yeah, so a lot of people nominated, still not accepted. It is competitive. Yeah, and that's another reason that I really encourage you to prepare for this. So you have to give yourself not just the best chance of passing an entrance exam, but really acing, to use the word that I used earlier. You have to really excel in these entrance exams. And then 323 scholarships awarded. So you can see it's about 4% of people that start this process that end up getting a scholarship. Okay, so there's not something to deter people, and I think 300 scholarships for our university alone is a great number, but you have to give yourself the best chance possible and be realistic about what kind of chance you have here. Okay, so now time for Anna to speak, and I think she's a great talker. She's going to share her experiences with you. Listening to what she has to say. Should I mean?
Hi everyone, I'm Anna Anastasiia. I'm a Stipendium Hungaricum scholar, and I'm also a student student worker at Corvinus Communications, and I'm going to talk about how it is to study in Hungary. And this is actually a big honor for me because when I came here more than 2 years ago, it was a very, very exciting opportunity, and I couldn't even believe that I was accepted and I was going to come here. And I was looking at all these people that were studying here and working here as if they were some kind of, celebrities or such experienced people. And I was thinking to myself that I want to be like this one day. And this kind of full circle moment for me, and especially since I'm graduating in summer as well. I just want to share my experience with you, how it is for me. And I think that in Hungary at Corvinus, we as international students, we share a lot of mutual experiences that I will cover today in my presentation as well. So I'm going to talk a bit about myself, then I will tell you how it is to be a scholar, a Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship holder at Corvinus University specifically. Then I will tell you a bit about challenges of studying in Hungary, and then from experience, I will tell you what to do or what not to do while you are waiting for the results, and then we'll talk about why you should do it. So first of all, I'm from Ukraine, from a very, very small town in the eastern part of the country. So once again, coming to Budapest was a very big thing for me. I have been studying and working at Corvinus. I have been working here for almost 2 years as well. So I started in my second semester of my first year. And what is very important is that I'm planning to continue my studies in Hungary for my master's degree. I love it. I love it here this much that I'm planning to apply this year for Stipendium Hungaricum once again. So I'm kind of in the same boat as you are. I will be going through this process once again very soon. So how it is to be a Stipendium Hungaricum scholar? Well, first of all, the point that I'm always emphasizing is that you are supported in every way possible. As Matt mentioned earlier, your full tuition for your studies is covered. And I also want to stress that for bachelor applicants, it is a very rare opportunity in Europe to have this full ride scholarship. Because I remember doing my research and it was very difficult to find something that would be completely free. Also in Hungary, either you want it or not, you will be culturally integrated because the community here is so welcoming and they kind of make you feel as if you're a local, as if you belong here. You do not actually feel all that much as an international student because you are just a student here. This is your home for these 3 years. And I think this is amazing and very important. Also mental health. I will talk about this a bit later, but at Corvinus you can have free therapy sessions, for example. And I think this is very, very important because, of course, moving to another country and being integrated into a completely different community, it's a big stress. So I'm very grateful that we have this opportunity to care for our mental health as well. And Stipendium Hungaricum is great because it is one of the very few scholarship programs that also provide monthly financial support. Because of course you can find universities that would cover your tuition fees. But this monthly financial support, I think it is one of the greatest parts because it is no secret that living abroad, living in Europe, it's not cheap, and that is perfectly fine. This is the reality. And I think that it is amazing that a country, a university, a scholarship program care about the fact that they want to support the students and support the scholarship holders this way. Both at Stipendium Hungaricum and at Corvinus specifically, there are frequent networking events that will make you help you meet new people and make friends. Just this Saturday, there was a big event, the freshman ball at Corvinus main building. It was amazing. There were 1,000 guests, both Corvinus students and the students from other universities. I think the events like this, they are very great, and this is how you meet new people, and this is how you feel that you are a part of a great, great community, Hungarian and international. And I'm not sure if many of you know, but there is a requirement to study Hungarian for all Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship holders for 2 semesters. And it may be something that scares you at first when you read about this. It scared me for sure, because I wasn't exactly sure that I would like to study a foreign language simultaneously as I'm entering a new academic field. Or, for example, to me, it was communication and media. So I was kind of scared of that. But when I came here and when I started learning Hungarian, I understood that this is your window to the culture. This is the first step into the culture of the country you're moving to. And this requirement, I think it is an obligation even. So you have to do it. You must do it. It helps you. At first, it might seem as something that, oh my God, this is like something I have to do. But at a second glance, it is great that the university provides a very high quality Hungarian classes with a Hungarian native speaker, of course. And they teach you the basics, but these basics can get you through these first months. And if you are interested and if you like it, you can continue at Corvinus Language Center even after you have finished these 2 semesters, obligatory semesters of learning Hungarian. And what is it about Corvinus? That's actually a great question, because I have been here for a long time and I still cannot put a finger to it. What is so special about it? But my friend who actually graduated Corvinus a couple of years ago, she's also from Ukraine, she told me once that if Hungary, then Corvinus University, nothing else. To me, this is the face of the country, and this is the face of an international community as well in Hungary. Corvinus has a well-developed system of student support, and by that I mean they are supporting you as a student in general, and specifically the Stipendium Hungaricum Scholarship Office is all the workers there are always available. They will always help you, and it doesn't matter how many questions you have, they will answer them. As I mentioned before, there is a broad community of international students. And by that, I mean that when you enter the university at your first orientation day, you will meet people from all over the world. And this is probably one of my favorite parts, because Corvinus and Stipendium Hungaricum just opens this opportunity to you. For me, as a girl from a very small town, this was something that I always dreamed about. And I'm sure that there are many of you out there listening, and yes, this is how you imagine it will be. It is great, it is eye-opening, and it is also mind-changing how many people are out there and how they are all so different, but somehow we come together at this one university and we share this amazing experience of coming to the adulthood and becoming best versions of ourselves. And once you get here, you will realize that Hungary is a very, very special country. It's a very small country as well. It might not be the first country you think about when you think about Europe, for example, but it has something about it that makes people want to come back and stay. And we as international students, as people living in Budapest, we enjoy it a lot. And I think Matt pointed out a lot of great details about Budapest and Hungary and how great it is to be here, and it's very convenient. So that, yeah, definitely Budapest is your choice here. Okay, so what about challenges of studying in Hungary? For some reason my slides are looking weird, but we're gonna get through it, it's fine. First of all, as I mentioned, this lack of skills can make you feel left out. It is inevitable, in my opinion, because you come to a foreign country, you don't speak the language. Of course, there will be moments where you are feeling that, oh my God, like they speak in Hungarian. Maybe some people are not going to be willing to speak English. And that's also the challenges that you face, and you go through them, you grow through them. And once again, with the help of Corvinus, you can actually start learning Hungarian. Then the next challenge that you might face is that you will be put into an environment where everything is in English, your studies, your social life. This only hurts for a couple of weeks, and then you just don't even notice that you're getting used to it, and this is not a challenge or a novelty for you anymore. And the third one is homesickness. Obviously, when you live in home, it is something that comes very naturally. It is not something you have to be afraid of, and it is something that you can overcome. All of these challenges that I mentioned, you can overcome them. How? First, Corvinus has a very strong base of the English language. And it's not only about Corvinus, it's about Budapest in general. Almost everyone here speaks English, and you will find your people. You will find the people that will not make you feel left out. And as I mentioned, you quickly get used to English in your studies and your social life. It's just a matter of time, really. And homesickness, it's painful, and it's something that every international student goes through. But it is something that also makes you appreciate home, and it makes you very strong as a person. And when you're going to come back home for like Christmas or something, you will appreciate being there even more. Okay, and then speaking about the Stipendium Hungaricum application specifically, I was this person that was emailing everyone in the Stipendium Hungaricum office with the stupidest questions possible. So yeah, but this is just something that a nervous applicant does, unfortunately. This is something you shouldn't do, definitely, but we'll cover that a bit later. What you should do is that you should check if you have prepared all the necessary documents. And if you think you check twice, because there are so many of them. You can obviously handle that, but there are a lot of documents. And this is just something that you have to keep in mind always. Check the documents, check twice, and just be very precise about this and actually pay a lot of attention to it, what you are uploading. And then the advice from my personal experience, try finding scholarship holders from your country and contact them. This is very, very helpful because they know firsthand what it's like. And they can also give you tips on a motivational letter, for example, or how it is in the university in general, the vibe of the university. That's what I did. And I think this was the thing that actually motivated me to apply the most, because I was just told, yeah, do it, definitely do it, because this is great. And when you hear this from your friend, from someone maybe you don't know, but this is a scholarship holder from your country, you will, of course, get along, and you can ask them any type of questions, and they will know the answers because they are either going through this thing or they have gone through it already. And be patient. This sounds very cheesy maybe, but this is the thing that you have to do. You will get the emails that you will need to get. No one will leave you hanging. This is why I'm saying that don't email the university every day and ask like if they have reviewed your application, if they have received your documents. They have, and if something is not right, they will email you that something is not right, and you have to either re-upload something or change something. No one will just this was my greatest fear, that I uploaded the wrong document and I would be just getting kicked out of the whole process. But this is not how it is going, and of course, everyone here, they are trying to kind of help you, and don't worry about this. Try not to panic, and just be as patient and as calm as it is possible to be in a application process like this. And then the last point of my presentation here: why is it worth it? To me, coming to Corvinus, to Hungary, entering international community and entering just a broad community of people, it started the process of becoming the person I always wanted to be, for example. And I think it is the same for a lot of people. It's just something about achieving your dream, or just making the first step into achieving your dream, that is applying to this scholarship. It just puts you on the right path, on the right road. And here you will meet people that will become your best friends. And friends change, people change around you, but the experiences that you will acquire here, they are truly irreplaceable. And this is something that I will be forever grateful for. And I want as many people as possible to also live through this. International connections that Corvinus and Stipendium Hungaricum offer are truly priceless. because you will get to know people that are doing great things out there, both in Hungary and around the world. And you will get to connect to them and build friendships and work relationships that will help you once again achieve your goals and come closer to your dreams. And just the experience of being an international student in Hungary is something that is definitely worthy of at least your attempt to come here. At least try and apply. And I'm sure that a lot of you that are listening right now next year will be here. I hope that you will be here, and you will just get to know yourself, how it's like to belong in a great place like Budapest, in such a great place like Corvinus, and with all of the benefits that the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship provides. And since I work at Corvinus Communications and I'm a social media assistant there, I'm gonna quickly advertise our social media channels. If you want to stay updated on the news at Corvinus University, on the application deadlines, details, if you just want to get the gist of what's the life at the university like, follow us on every imaginable social media channel. And with that, I'm going to finish my presentation, and Matt is gonna come back. Thank you everyone for your attention, and I'm gonna come back for the Q&A session at the end.
Okay, thanks, Anna. That was great. I told you that she's good. We've done this together for a few years actually, so it's been really good getting to know Anna, and she's here because of this program. And I remember we first met at a garden party that the university had organised a few years ago, and she came over and said hi, and I remember you from all these emails we'd exchanged. So although her tip, which is a good one, is not to contact staff too much, I'm very happy that we had this opportunity to meet. And it might be another one of you, depending on what Anna's future is, because I think she might stay for a master's as well. She'd need to reapply herself for the Stipendium Hungaricum, but it might be another one of you who's sitting next to me in a few years or next year, or you're also working at the university and helping out for activities like these. Right. Back to my part now. So I've seen a few of the questions popping up. I think we're going to answer a lot of them in this section. So we're going to try to tackle now how to prepare the application, and then talk through entry requirements, entrance exams, motivation letter as well. So some tips for the application. I've already given that first one about Latin characters. Yeah, provide as much documentation as possible up front. So that means English language proficiency is a requirement. Do not wait until the end of the absolute deadline to provide your English language proficiency. So you'll see that you have until 1st of August. Don't think about applying for this program if your English is below B2 level currently. Really, you need B2 as a minimum. And I know that a lot of people are waiting until their English can be to a satisfactory standard so they can meet this requirement. Please, it's not worth it. You need to be at a very high level, and if you provide documents up front as much as possible, you're going to have the best chance of, first of all, being admitted, but second, being unconditionally admitted. And that's a requirement to apply for the visa. So we always have, although we had 323 scholarships awarded, I shared with you last year, we had fewer than 300 students who started on the program because some couldn't start on time. And the reason they couldn't start on time is that they couldn't apply for the visa on time. And the reason that they couldn't apply for the visa on time is because they left it too late to provide documents that they could have provided earlier. Okay, so the only one that you have any excuse with is the graduation certificate, because you're at the mercy of when your country or when your high school, when your university issues that graduation certificate. So that we know. But everybody else, you need to apply and provide all the documents from the offset if you can. There's no reason not to, or no reason good enough not to. Okay, the MBA I mentioned already, you need the work experience. It's a minimum of 3 years, but not just 3 years. So you can't have accrued those 3 years during your bachelor studies. You can't have accrued some of the 3 years before you started your degree. It should be 3 years since graduating. Okay, so that's an important point. For master's programs, there's credit requirements. These are all published on the website, so have a look through them. What it means is that you should have a bachelor's degree with some related content. And it varies from program to program. It's normally not a huge amount, but you have to have some subject-related credits. So don't apply for a program unless you think you can meet the credit requirements. What you'll need to do is calculate or estimate at least your credits in ECTS, which is the system that we use in Europe for credits. We give some tips on how to do that. So make sure that you're going to have enough credits to apply for a master's or an MBA program. It's really, really important. Yeah, I think I'll give a guidance about this academic record in one of the next slides. I'm going to have a whole subsection on the motivation letter. Okay, this point, second from the last here, links to what Anna said about in her do's and don'ts. So the team that I manage, admissions and student recruitment, has 6 people in that team. I've already told you that we have 8,000 Stipendium Hungaricum applications, plus we have applications from other sources. And we have to take holiday for Christmas. We want to, but we do have to as well. So please keep this in mind. The offices will be closed in December. Yeah, so that during the middle of this application period, you have no option but to be resourceful and try to solve problems for yourself. And I think most of the questions you could ask, there's an answer to in this webinar. But really, it's very, very important, guys, to be independent. Try to solve problems on your own. If all 8,000 people send one email, our 6 staff members are doing nothing else in our day other than responding to emails. It just becomes impossible. So really be realistic and try to solve as many problems for yourself. Do your own research. And you need these skills for when you arrive in a new country as an international student. Okay, there'll be some links in this webinar. We'll post underneath the event on Facebook and YouTube. Check all those resources that are relevant to you. So if you're a bachelor's student, you don't need to read the master's application information, but do read everything that could be relevant to you, including that call for applications, the website pages for the programs you're applying to, and what we call the application information pages as well on the Corvinus website. Really useful resources. Okay, English language, these are the proficiency certificates that we accept. So this is just for bachelor students and MBA students. So masters, I'll tell you in a minute what the requirements are. So this is the minimum, and these are the qualifications we accept. So you can see that IELTS is there, there's TOEFL, there's TOEIC. We also accept the Duolingo. So a bit like the app Duolingo, it's the same company. They do a language test. The score in the Duolingo that you require is 100. Okay, that's a B2 level. We really recommend that one because it's very affordable and $70 US and online results available within 2 to 3 days. So very, very cost and time efficient test to take. We will not accept letters from schools for any bachelor applicants. So you can't send a letter from your school saying that you studied in English. You have to have one of these. That's a firm requirement now. So no letters from schools for bachelor students. It's a waste of paper getting them written. Okay, some tips. I've given the second tip already, so I won't repeat that one. But the first tip, kind of given as well, but I'll reiterate this one. B2 is the minimum. Yeah, you need to be C1, C2 level, really. If you're going to have an interview, to articulate yourself well in the interview, which you would if you're a social science student. And the demands of a bachelor degree are more likely to be C1, C2 from the offset, from the first year. I think Anna gave some good tips about how quickly you can integrate into studying in English and adapt it to that. So don't be overwhelmed by that, but do make sure that you're at this level, and there are things that you can do. Yeah, there's still almost 10 months until you start your studies. So it's a lot of time to improve English skills. It's very possible to go from a B2 to a C2 in that time if you put the effort in. Okay, academic records. A bit like Anna's earlier slide, the formatting's a bit strange here. There should have been arrows with that bit that said MABA high school, but never mind. So the tip here is to start with the latest level of education first. Okay, so if you're a master's applicant, we don't care where you went to nursery. Yeah, the latest level is the most important. So if your bachelor's level, high school is important. If your master's level, MBA level, master's is important. Yeah, generally I would include high school. Eventually, I would include bachelor's for everyone if you've got a bachelor's degree. So do it in reverse order with the latest first, the most recent qualification first, the one that you're studying currently if you are. Don't need to go lower than high school. Okay, that's the lowest level you need to go to. On the application form, you'll see there's a field where you can put your GPA or grade. So do that, and also state what the maximum GPA or grade possible is. So for example, my average grade is a 4.2 and the maximum is a 5.0. Or my average grade is an 87 and the maximum is 100. Or B plus, A is the maximum, etc. Okay, upload documents to the relevant task in DreamApply. And don't keep uploading the same things over and over again. It's an absolute nightmare for administrators. Yeah, so this comes back to my point about treating your application with care. Yeah, it's worth 20,000 euros effectively more. So please treat it with respect. And the people who will be reviewing it as well. Does make a difference. But you'll see in DreamApply is the system where you have to apply. There's something called tasks, and tasks are basically the different kind of documents that you have to upload. So you'll see towards the end of the online application process, you'll see the list of the different tasks in the system, and these are basically the documents that you need to upload to the system. Okay, when you graduate, so if you're still studying, you only have to do this in the summer, but you have to do it extremely quickly. So especially because you'll need a visa to enter Hungary in most cases. So once you get your graduation certificate and the transcripts, if they're not in English, you'll need them to be legally translated. Yeah, so you'll have to go to a public notary, get them translated, and then upload to your DreamApply records the final certificate and transcript. So that's really, really important as well. Okay, and the last point is about checking entry qualification section of the program page. That's a section on when you search for programs in DreamApply, you're going to see detailed information for each program. So this has things like, for masters, the kind of what I'm going to talk about on the next slide, the kind of papers that you need to be admitted, the credit requirements. If you apply for business management, what the entrance exam will be. So check for every program, because there might be minor differences there. Okay, here's just a bit more information about these credit requirements I mentioned earlier. So they're in that section that I was just referring to. Now, this is just for masters and MBA applicants only. Bachelor students, you can come from any academic discipline. Anything you studied in high school is generally okay, as long as you complete high school. That's pretty much a rule anywhere in the world. So generally it's 11 years, 12 years of high school minimum. Okay, have a look in this entry qualification section. You'll see what the credit requirements are for the program. And this link will be one that we'll share under the video. Here you can see forms that you'd later have to fill in the application process. That can help you see how this is broken down and exactly what requirements you'd need to fulfill. Okay, so very, very useful resources. Every master's applicant, have a quick check of these for each program you're serious about. Entrance exams. So I mentioned that if you're nominated, you then be invited to take part in entrance exams. So online in April, certainly for all priority 1 applicants. Perhaps some interviews for priority 2 will be in early May, as I mentioned earlier. If you apply for a bachelor's in economics or business, you do a mathematics exam. It's an online mathematics exam that's proctored. It's a 60-minute exam. It's a multiple choice exam. There is a sample paper already available on the website. So again, we'll share the link you can see on this page to all the practice materials, and you can have a look at the kind of questions that you need to answer for that maths exam. For communications and international relations bachelor, there's an interview. So you should show motivation and skills, demonstrate your skills relevant to the program in that interview. There's also an interview for the MBA program. So even though it's a master's level program, it's different to the other master's programs. So you'd only need an interview plus the work experience that we mentioned earlier. And then we have this special program called PPE, Politics, Philosophy, Economics. That's a multidisciplinary program. And so for that, because of the economics element, we ask you to do a mathematics test. Because of the social science element that comes from philosophy and politics, we ask you to do an interview. So you have to pass both for that program. Okay, this link we'll share with you, and you can see the point about the MBA repeated there. For masters, I've seen a few questions about this. We've had questions about this as well that we've received via email, via online inquiries. For Corvinus, for master's programs, you must have one of the following. So NMAT, GMAT, or GRE. And there's 2 kinds of GMAT, as you can see. And you need to provide these by the 1st of April. Yeah, so you need to have taken the test, whichever one you choose to do, and you can do these online. You need to have taken at least 2 weeks earlier, so you get the results before 1st of April. Why is this important? This is going to form your entrance exam score effectively, okay? In most instances, the score in this, whichever of these papers, so you pick one of the 4, the score that you get in that is going to determine your admission score out of 100. The admission score is one of the key drivers in whether or not you get a scholarship. It definitely affects whether or not you'll be conditionally accepted, but also can determine whether or not you get the scholarship. So the higher you score, the higher chance you have of being awarded a scholarship. You can see that there's minimum scores required as well. So the NMAT, you have to score 165 minimum. Anybody who scores 164 or lower would unfortunately be rejected at that stage. Anybody who doesn't take the test will be rejected. GMAT, similar, but 500 is the score. This GMAT FE is 485, and the GRE is 300. And a bit like I gave you the informal tip about Duolingo, we also recommend the NMAT exam because it is the most affordable of any of these. It's around $150, I believe, generally for the NMAT. It's an online paper, so anyone in the world can take it. And it is actually the easiest, to be honest, of these tests. It has 3 elements to it. GMAT has 4. I think GRE has 4 or 5 elements. So the NMAT, the only elements to the NMAT are English language, mathematics, and reasoning as well, non-verbal, verbal reasoning. Okay. So that's why we're not asking for an additional English language proficiency for master's applicants. So you don't need to do the Duolingo or IELTS that's a requirement for bachelor students, but you do need to have one of these. For certain programs, if you score above the minimum, but you don't have a particularly high score, so not enough to be admitted, then you have the chance to do an interview as well. If you pass the interview, you can be conditionally accepted. So these programs are economic behavior analysis, international economy and business, finance, and public policy and management. But what you need to try to do, guys, is score as high as possible in whichever of these papers you set your mind on or set your mind to doing, because, as I've said, it will form the admission score. Okay, and the higher score you get, better chance you have of being accepted, and the better chance you have of being awarded a scholarship as well. Okay, so it's really, really important. Can take about 10 weeks to prepare. That's the advice we've been given by the company that manages the GMAT and the MMATs. They're called GMAC, and they recommend at least 10 weeks to prepare. So you want to start preparing soon, guys. You want to use any holidays you have in December to start really getting your head around these papers. Of course, it's going to be worth it, because if you're admitted, you're doing a master's at Corvinus, and I think we've made clear what the value in that is already. Okay, I think this is the last slide. One of my last slides, and then we're going to go to questions. So motivation letter tips. So you have to do a motivation letter as part of your application. Be concise. Yeah, I think 1 page is better than 4, personally. Short sentences, much better than lengthy paragraphs. Definitely do split it into paragraphs and use line spacing. Your knowledge of the subjects you've applied to and demonstrable motivation takes precedence over anything else, okay? So if I'm reading a motivation letter, I want to see that somebody studied the program specification and they know that in semester 2, year 2, for example, they're going to be studying module X or module Y, and how that links to their career aspirations. That's a great motivation letter. Yeah. The next point is about making emotional pleas. What's not a great motivational letter is, no, I come from a poor family and my life is difficult and it's always been hard. I need this scholarship, and Corvinus is the best, but you don't say why it's the best. So it's an academic scholarship, guys. Of course, we are human, but you have to show you've got the academic skills, and that's what's going to catch the attention of somebody who's reading your motivation letter. So give evidence. Don't just make these emotional pleas. Yeah, so the curricula are very good resources for that. I've talked earlier about where you can find them, mentioned evidence. So if you've got work experience, you can also mention that. Anything you've studied previously, how you found it interesting, how it opened your mind, how it's led you on a journey to study or to apply for the program that you want to now study, programs. Yeah, and always link it to the career aspirations. And the last point, a bit like Anna said earlier, she gave a good tip about trying to connect with people who are current scholarship holders from your country. Again, get critical friends, people who've got the skills. Older, perhaps, people who've been through a process like this before, from your family, from your friends. Teachers are also great. Get them to check your letter and to give you feedback as well. Okay, so there's actually 2 more, but I'll just go through this quickly. So final tips and advice. So as I said before, the priorities are very high priority. If you think Corvinus is the university for you, of course, you can apply for 2 programs at Corvinus. That gives you a better chance of being admitted to Corvinus. Priority 2 being the backup, as I said. Give yourself time. It's 27th of November today. Don't have to submit the application by tomorrow, but you don't want to leave it to the last minute. So the deadline's 16th of January. So try to be finalizing this in a month's time, really. So then if there's anything that causes further delay or anything else that you need to look into, you can do that. If you're a master's applicant, you're going to need time to prepare for the NMAT. So you can submit your application and you can start focusing on the next stage. Always check your emails, including junk and spam folders, once you've applied. It's very, very important. The Corvinus admissions office email is international.application@uni-corvinus.hu. Whitelist that one. And same for the Stipendium Hungaricum email from Tempus. Whitelist that, mark them as not junk/spam. And to reiterate this point, do try and solve your own problems. Okay, it's really, really important. We get so many inquiries, and you're one of 8,000. Okay, so we can't give everybody case-by-case feedback. It's a university, so you have to be an independent young adult applying for university and to live in a new country. So the more that you can solve your own problems, the more we'll be impressed, and probably the smoother the process will be for you. And in fact, the admissions office email is a no-reply email address. So if you ever do contact that email, you won't hear back, actually. Okay, so check all resources. I've said that a few times. There's a frequently asked questions section on our website as well. We'll share all the links below so you can access them after the webinar today. Once you're an applicant, if you're nominated, we'll hold more webinars about the next stage. So after the nomination period, we'll hold a webinar to help you prep for the entrance exams, to give you some more detailed information just about that period, what you need to do. After the scholarships have been awarded, we'll do a final webinar so people can prepare for their arrival in Hungary, because that's quite a difficult process. So it can be an overwhelming process as well. Call for applications, said it a few times, read it. It's not going to be the finest literature you've ever read, but it's useful. I think Anna's said that she did this herself, so do research about Hungary Corvinus, your program. You'll use that if you have an interview. You'll use it if you do a motivation letter. Watch the webinar back. We can share the slides as well as the links, and you can download them. And this is the last point, is to really earn your scholarship. Do be proactive, be independent, prep for this, work hard, plan, prepare. You'll give yourself the best chance possible of winning this lifetime-changing opportunity. Okay, and over to your questions. We've got 17 minutes to answer as many as possible. Anna has to go to class at 5, so we can't go a minute longer, but we'll give it our best. Are you going to join me here, Anna? So we use the same mic or what?
Okay, I hope I'm gonna remove myself this way. I think this way it should be the best. I hope you can all hear us. Indicate it in the comments if you cannot. And I think we will start with we have a big question here, a long one. I will be applying for bachelor's in data science and business as first priority and bachelor's in applied economics as second priority. I have a few questions, hoping to get them answered. First, the application requires at least 2 references. Which references would be the best for the application, teachers or employees? Second, should I write 2 individual letters of motivation, or can I write about both programs in 1 letter? What would be better for my application? And the third question, unfortunately, we cannot read because it's too long. So we will answer the first 2.
Okay, I'll have a guess about what the third part could be. Okay, so for the references, it's not something that Corvinus is interested in, actually. We don't assess that in your application. So if your sending partner is asking for the references, best to check with them. But I think a bachelor level is probably going to be academic references. A master's level, maybe 1 academic, 1 professional. Okay, but I don't know. It's not something that's a Corvinus requirement. So you can ask the sending partner or take your best guess if it's not clear from the call for applications. The letter motivation, should you write 2? I mean, that's an interesting question. You can only write 1, and it's important not to alienate either of your choices. So if data science is your first choice, focus on that maybe for 70% of the letter. And then maybe for 30% of a letter, you can write about applied economics as well. So that would be my advice to get the balance right. But definitely focus on data science, but don't alienate the applied economics program either, if that's your second choice. If you've done A-levels, I can't read the question, but if you've done A-levels for secondary education, that's generally fine for admission onto a bachelor program. You should generally have 3 A-levels with good grades. We say good grades would be grade B and above, but I can't see the question, as Anna said, so I've just guessed what you may have written there.
Okay, and we're going further. Apart from the recommendation letter from Corvinus, they corrected some average condition. Is it mandatory for Corvinus, for current Corvinus self-funded students to secure an emanation from the sending partner if they want to finish their studies supported by Stipendium Hungaricum?
Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult question and a technical one. So this is about somebody studying at Corvinus who wants to be switch, I guess, to a Stipendium Hungaricum student. It's difficult to do this, so I'm not an expert in this process. Generally, sending partners are more willing to award scholarships to students who are not already self-funded. So actually, I guess you're a current student of Corvinus, but I would encourage you to do your own research for that. You definitely do need a recommendation letter from Corvinus, typically from one of your teachers. And yes, there's grade requirements, so I can see that you know about that. Is it mandatory? I think yes. Yeah, so you should look further into that process, but it is very, very difficult for current self-funded students to transfer to Stipendium Hungaricum scholars.
Okay,
thanks, Anna.
Going further. Any limit on applicant's age? Any restriction to a master's applicant referring to his/her last year of bachelor studies previous to the application?
Yeah, it's a good question and good news as well. So in Hungary, as far as I know, there's no age limit, upper age limit. For the scholarship program, there is a lower age limit. So you can't be under 18 and apply for the Stipendium Hungaricum program. So 18 when the academic year starts. But for master's applicants, doesn't matter how old you are, really. The older you are, the more experience you might have, which is great. And we love that, having a diverse classroom. And there's no requirements with gaps between your bachelor studies and applying for a master's. Personally, I think it's a great thing that somebody might have done a bachelor's in 2013, been working for the last 10 years and decided to apply for a master's now. It's only going to enrich the classroom environment.
Okay. Greetings. I have a BA degree from PH University, which is a Hungarian university as well. Would I need a GMAT, GRE, and MAT exam?
Yeah, it's a good question. I did see that one earlier when you were presenting, Anna. So actually, you will need, yes. There is only one condition in which you don't need a GMAT, GRE, and MMAT, and that's when you studied at an accredited university. And accredited means AACSB or AMBER, or the other accrediting body, which is EQUIS, and also SEMS. So the accreditations that Corvinus has, as I did say to you, Corvinus is the only university that's accredited by all of those. If PH has, I know that there might be some in Hungary that have an accreditation. If PH has for the Bachelor in Business Management, then you can be exempt if you've got an equivalent of a 4.0 out of 5 average GPA, but only under those conditions. So do check the website carefully, because the wording's better than I can even express now verbally, and it'll be more precise. So check what it says about accredited universities and exemptions, and make sure that you have that grade, meet the grade requirements as well. Okay.
Okay, I'm currently studying a preparatory program. Does it count as higher education? I ask this as I'm applying for Stipendium Hungaricum for bachelor's, and they ask if I'm currently studying at a higher education institution in Hungary.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. It is, you are studying at a higher education institution, but you're not studying on a bachelor's degree yet. So I think the point for that one is whether or not you should be awarded the scholarship. So I think you can probably put no to that if you're studying on a preparation program rather than on a bachelor's degree. Yeah, I think that should be okay.
Okay. Hi, greetings from Bosnia. I saw that on some of the programs it says that internship is included. Can you provide us with more information? What exactly is internship?
Do you want to talk about your internship?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Basically, an internship is a limited set of hours that you have to work at a company. Basically, you have to get an intern place at any company that will be connected to your degree. For me, it was communication and media, and I did that at Corvinus, actually, at Corvinus Communications. For us, it was 80 hours. That is basically you practicing what you will do when you kind of finish your degree, one of the opportunities of the job that you can have. So that is basically it. The number of hours changes from program to program, if I'm not mistaken. So you should definitely check that on the website. But this is nothing that is scary, because to me it kind of was a bit scary, but Corvinus helps with the university provides a list of companies where you could apply. And from my course, everyone did that. No one was left out. And that is a mandatory requirement as well. So you will have to do it for most of the programs, but you have to check it for the ones that you're interested in specifically, because it may be something different. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. I think it'll be for bachelor's, business management, international business, and communications. Those are the 3 programs at bachelor level that have an internship involved, and it's a really nice thing. It's obviously giving practical experience and exposure to the workplace. So there's a reason that it's included. It's for your benefit ultimately.
Okay, moving along. Also, please guide about what Corvinus and Tempus Public Foundation looks for in the references we provide. Is there a default format template that has to be filled in?
Yeah, I talked about references, and I think it was the same person, She's Khan, that asked. It's not a Corvinus requirement. It's not something that we're assessing in the application. So no, we don't have a template. If Tempus is asking for a reference, it's more likely to be a sending partner. You'd have to follow up with that inquiry through other sources, I'm afraid.
Okay, it is stated that applying for a master requires GMAT GRE submitted before April 24. Does this mean I can still be accepted to the scholarship and program and can provide the certification later?
No. No, it means that you have to provide by April 2024. Yeah, so we wouldn't say one thing and then the meaning to be exactly the opposite. So you really do need to do that, because it's going to form your score in the admissions process. It's really important. You'll just be rejected as a master's applicant if you don't get the GMAT GRE or the NMAT. Don't forget the NMAT before April 2024 if you're a master's applicant.
If I study a few years at the university without finishing the degree, it would be advisable to upload your high school certificates and the grades of that university. If I may answer that, because I was in the exact same position. Before coming to Hungary, I studied 2 years at a Ukrainian university. I didn't finish. What I did, I uploaded both a high school certificate with my grades, and I'm pretty sure that your university you're studying at can also give you this kind of full list of the grades you acquired in the years that you studied there, even if you didn't finish the degree. So you just ask for that document and that's it, and you upload both of them. And for me, no one ever said that was the wrong thing to do. I was accepted, I'm here, so I assume it still should be all right. So yeah, I would say that this would be the most correct thing to do, to provide everything you have from the institutions that you have studied at.
And the high school is essential. Yeah, it's a legal requirement, so you must upload the high school certificates as well.
I'm a self-funded student in Corvinus and I would like to get a scholarship. I have a couple of questions. Do I have a sending partner if I'm already studying? What should I write in the motivation letter?
Yeah, well, you can follow. I don't know what time you posted the question, but you can follow our guidance on motivation letter. I guess you're asking how I'm already studying this program. You know, how do I show that I'm maintaining my commitment and deserving of a scholarship? You need to make a really good argument. Yeah, so you need to show why you particularly need the scholarship, I guess, for that final year, for that final 2 years. So give it your best. As I did say earlier to your peer, it's very difficult as a current student to get to switch to the Stipendium Hungaricum. Do you have a sending partner? Yes, you still do. So it's going to be dependent on your nationality. Yeah, so I won't guess where you're from, although I could from the name. But yeah, you will have a sending partner as well. Of course, it would be the same as for anyone else.
All right. Do we need to fill in CSS profile?
I don't know what CSS is.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I do
No?
not. I thought you would know. Okay,
No,
moving
sorry,
further.
no idea what that is.
Do I have to send the documents first to the partner in my country, or do I have to send the documents to Stipendium Hungaricum at the same time?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's something we gave tips on last year, Anna, isn't it? And
Yep.
we didn't mention this year. Different sending partners might have different requirements. Many, all you have to do is the online application, that's enough. But others do like you to send the documents, sometimes by post, sometimes delivered in person, sometimes submitted via email. So the best thing to do is to contact the sending partner by phone rather than email, and to ask them what the specific requirements are for them. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter which you do first, but you'd have to do both. And the sending partner deadline might differ from that 16th of January as well. Might be earlier, might be later. So do check with them on that.
Hi, I took 2 years gap after my high school and was working for NGOs. Will the gap years affect my application?
Not in a negative way, potentially in a positive way, because that's a great story you could build into your motivation letter.
All right. I'm currently on an English foundation course. I have not completed my English score makeup and will be issued with a B2 level certificate in July 24. Will the certificate issued in July replace my language certificate? Do I need language certificate when I apply?
Yeah, and technically Tempus will give until the 1st of August, but July is very late. Yeah. And what if you fail then in July? So really, I would recommend doing the Duolingo test earlier to give yourself the best chance, really, of particularly for getting the visa on time. This is why it's so important. So July can be okay, but what if you do for any reason fail? And really, we've got to get you here for the first week of September. So it does take a long time to apply for the visa, and you can't apply until you've been unconditionally accepted. You can't be unconditionally accepted until you've got the English score. So July is getting a little bit late. Yeah, so do the Duolingo. Unofficially, that's my advice. Do it earlier.
All right. Is there any problem if I send the Corvinus University diplomas of high school later? Currently, I'm a high school student.
If you're still studying, you send when you graduate. That's the same for everyone. Yeah, but you should send an in-progress transcript. So you should send us at least your transcript for the last academic year that ended summer 2023.
Oh, I actually have a follow-up question to this.
Yeah,
Is it the same for people applying to masters? Because I will only get a diploma hopefully in July.
Yeah.
So I just upload it once I get it.
Yeah.
For now, I just upload the grades that I have.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, same whether bachelor's or master's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. If I get rejected by first choice and got selected from second, would I get the scholarship if the both priorities were Corvinus?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. So that is the point of having the priority two, is if you get rejected from your first, you still have a chance. And if you put Corvinus for both, if this is the university that you really want to go to, yes, it's the best way to do it tactically.
I think we have time for one more question, and
Okay.
we have this third question that we couldn't read earlier. So here it goes. My third question was, I have done GCE A levels. My subjects were business, economics, computer science, and accounting. However, my country recognizes my study discipline as arts and humanities instead of business economics for some reason. What should I mention in the study discipline section in my application and dream apply? Okay,
I don't think that's a huge deal, really. I would say that you can put business economics if you study business economics, computer science, and accounting. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's the question, isn't it?
Yep.
So I don't think there's any problem with that. It is interesting that that's classified as arts and humanities. but we would classify it as business economics in Hungary, these subject areas.
All right, one more. Can medical certificates be sent after the deadline?
Not after the medical certificate deadline, and I think it was mid-April. So you have a look, and Tempus will hit you with emails about the medical certificate. It's really important. You need to upload that, and you'll see there's a template that you have to get your doctor to fill out, or whoever performs the medical exam. So don't just fill out the template. There needs to be corresponding scans to go with it, and it's really important that it's in English or translated to English, that one. So it's a later deadline. It won't be 16th of January, but there is a deadline, and you have to meet that one.
All right, and the last one. If I get scholarship from Stipendium Hungaricum, will it fund me for all 3 years of my studies?
Scholarship. It's a bit of a typo, but scholarship sounds fun too. Okay. Yeah, it will fund you for 3 years of your studies in Hungary if you pass at first attempt. Yeah, so you need to be passing each academic year to maintain the scholarship, as far as I know. There could be a point where you could lose the scholarship if you had to repeat years, and you might eventually have to cover your studies self-funded.
Yep, I think we can close the Q&A session on this.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. So you did a really good job. You're reading very quickly through those. And now you can go to class as the reward. But yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks everybody as well for joining us today. And good luck. Hope you learned some useful things from this. We're going to share the links that we've discussed today. Any last words, Anna?
I would say that everything you need to know is in the documents. It's on the website. I saw a couple of questions specifically about if I'm on this program, can I apply them to this one from business to something else? This is a very specific question that you can find answers to either on the web page of the program or even email this department. They usually are quick to reply if you want to know for 100%. So everything you need to know is out there, and just go for it, do it. Those are the last words, do it. If you are hesitant, don't be, because this is worth it and this is going to change your life. And just go for it, and you're worthy of it, I think. And I hope to see many of you next year in Hungary, in Budapest at Corvinus.
Yeah, me too. Good words. Okay, everyone. Goodbye. Good luck.
Yep. Bye-bye.
See you.